back to the Skips Tactical Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Avery. This week's episode is going to be slightly different. I'll be answering questions that I received from my Facebook, Instagram, and on my email as well. But I still want your feedback, so feel free to let me know what you think. Shoot me a message on social media at Skips Tactical Solutions, or you can send me an email at skipstacticalsolutions@gmail.com. A quick reminder though, I'll be shouting out one of you amazing listeners every week for leaving a review. I can never thank you guys enough for taking the time out to not only listen to the episodes, but to also leave a review in your podcast player. Your reviews just give me so much joy and fuel, and they keep me going. You know, when I started this whole podcasting thing, I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it is, but your reviews keep me going. This feature will be in every single episode, so go ahead and leave Skips Tactical Solutions podcast a 5-star review, and your review could be read next. But later on in this episode, I'll be reading this week's review of the week. Another quick announcement is, a couple of weeks ago, we announced that we are an affiliate with Vaultec Safes. I don't know if you've heard of Vaultec Safes, but they have some pretty awesome products out there. They have biometric safes, and if you haven't heard of a biometric safe, they allow you quick access to your firearm when you really need it. They come with 5 convenient, quick ways to access your safe, and it is also TSA approved. So if you're traveling, you can throw it in your bag, but for me, right now, mine is on my nightstand. But before I get started with this week's episode, if you're not following me on Facebook and Instagram at Skips Tactical Solutions, what are you waiting for? On Facebook and Instagram, I do a weekly live video where I answer questions that are sent in to me. So feel free to send in a question and I will answer your question on live. And on Facebook right now, we're doing a 3K giveaway. There's still a couple of days left, so head over and enter the giveaway. But don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. So right now, stop what you're doing. And while you're listening, you can hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified when new episodes drop. And you can also leave a review while you're listening to the podcast as well. And don't forget to check out our website, skipstacticalsolutions.com. And while you're there, just join our email list so that you can always stay in the know when it comes to Skips Tactical Solutions. And you will receive a 10% off coupon. And I don't know about you, but I definitely love a good coupon. So we will go ahead and get started with the questions for this week. First question. Do you have a favorite ammo brand that you use? Yes, so my favorite is Barnes TAC XPD, and this is for my concealed carry gun, and it is 115 grains, 9 mil plus P, and it travels at 1,125 feet per second, and the price isn't too bad either. You can spend $20 for about 20 rounds. Although I carry it in my concealed carry handgun, be reminded that you need to shoot your personal defense ammo at the range as well. Not saying that you do it often, but that's something that you need to run through your concealed carry handgun. So what do you use? Next question is, what kind of light do you carry? When it comes to lights with your everyday carry, I like to carry a flashlight with me because you never know when you will encounter a threat and maybe I'll just need some additional lighting. So I carry the Streamlight ProTac 1L. It takes one CR123 battery and it has 275 lumens, a constant on or strobe feature, and it runs for about $40. So I like this light because of its small size and it comes with a clip and I can clip it on my pocket or I can clip it on whatever I need to. And $40 isn't too bad on my pockets. But another option that is under $40 is the Streamlight MicroStream. It takes one AAA battery and it's 45 lumens, but it costs $20. And another option, just in case you want to shell out a few more bucks, is the Enforce 9BX. It takes 3 CR123 batteries. It's 500 lumens and it has a constant on or strobe feature, which is $60. So those are 3 options for you. But let me know what options you prefer. All right, next question. What's your favorite gun to carry and shoot? So I have two different guns when it comes to this question. So my favorite gun to carry is my Glock 43. But when it comes to my favorite gun to shoot, I have to say I really love shooting my Canik TP9 SF Elite. It's just like that gun was just made, especially for me. Next question is, which rounds do you use for home defense? When it comes to home defense, I use Barnes TAC XBD and Hornady Critical Defense. And if you haven't checked out LuckyGunner.com, they have some really neat charts over there where you can look at the different specs when it comes to ammunition. All right, so next question. What brand of ammo do you carry in your Glock 43, and what factors led to choose the ammo over other options? So I think this is a really good question. As I stated, I carried the Barnes TAC XBD, and some of the factors that led me to that was, you want to make sure that you're getting your ammunition from a reputable manufacturer, and I wanted 12 to 18 inches of penetration, and you want something that has consistent expansion, and Barnes TAC XBD definitely had all of those. All right, so next question is, what strategies would you suggest for gun lovers who vote the Democratic ticket? When it comes to this, I like to tell people to make sure that you do your research. You need to find out where your candidate stands on the issues that are important to you. When it comes to the person that you're voting for, your values have to pretty much line up with theirs. And once they're elected, you need to make sure that you stick around with them. And you need to hold them accountable to do all the things that they said that they would. And I don't know about you guys, but I personally tend to stay away from talking politics and religion with anyone. A lot of people just really don't understand that you can respect someone else's opinions and their views and still be friends. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. And nowadays, it just seems like if someone doesn't agree with you, then, they're going to unfriend you. They're going to talk about you. So, I don't really talk religion or politics with anyone. But, when it comes to politics, we have to make sure that we're doing right by the people that we need to, because these are rights that we don't want taken away from us. All right, so next question. What do you think about the new SIG P365 for concealed carry? So personally, I think that the SIG P365 is a great option. My everyday carry, which was my Glock 43, was in the shop. No, it wasn't broken. It was in the shop getting some Cerakote work done. So while it was in the shop, I was carrying the SIG P365 for my everyday carry, and I had to say that I really enjoyed carrying it, and I really enjoyed shooting it as well. I also have a lot of questions on the issues with the SIG P365. So, the issues that were reported with the first run of the P365s, it was because of the primer drag. And this is when the face of the firing pin just drags across the primer when the barrel unlocks during that firing process. And SIG put out in one of their forums a statement, and the statement was, although there have been limited number of striker and trigger return spring issues with this new platform, our return rates for these two parts are still extremely low, approximately 0.25% combined, which we believe is still below the industry standards for any type of return. So the 365 is a micro-compact everyday carry size handgun with unprecedented 10+1 full-size capacity. It's a double-stack magazine, and it's rated for +P pressure, and it ships with X-Ray 3 night sights and 2 10-round magazines. It also has an option for you to get a 12-round magazine. And one of the magazines fits flush, and the other is with an extended finger tab. If someone has bigger hands, it can make holding that firearm more comfortable for them. And it's only 1 inch wide, and that's gonna make hiding that on your body easier. And if it's within your waistband, it's gonna be more comfortable. That firearm retails for about $599.99. I think the SIG P365 is giving the Glock 43 a run for its money. When it came out, dealers could not keep them in stock, and there was a long waiting list for it. I don't remember how long I was on the waiting list for my 365. I have to say, I think it was well worth the wait. So have you fired or purchased a P365? And if you have, I would love to know what you think about about it. My 365 has about 2,000 rounds put through it, and I have to say that I have had zero malfunctions with it. And I did receive mine months after the recall, and all of those issues were fixed. So Glock 43, watch out. But I'm going to take a quick break from reading the questions, and I will be going over this week's review of the week. So this week's review of the week is from Chill041 in iTunes. They gave us a 5-star rating and said, "This podcast makes you think and put things into perspective." So I would like to say thank you to Chill041 for not only taking the time out to listen to this podcast, but for also leaving your review and your rating in your podcast player. We're glad that we're making you think, especially on matters that are important, right? So personal protection and exercising your Second Amendment right is very important to us. Don't forget to leave your rating and review on your podcast player of the Skips Tactical Solutions podcast, and your review could be read next. All right, so the next question is, what is your favorite caliber? My favorite caliber is 9mm. When it comes to 9mm, I feel that it's plentiful, it's going to be available, and it's very cost effective. You don't want to shoot a round that's not really affordable for you, right? You need to be able to afford to go to the range very often, and you need to be able to afford to shoot the personal defense ammo as well. And with 9mm, it has minimum recoil and the mag capacity is good. And I like that it has decent stopping power. But another thing is, a lot of people rag on 9mm. Just remember that it's all dependent upon a well-placed shot. So if you are shooting a 40 and you cannot properly place your shot, then it really doesn't matter, does it? 9mm definitely has good enough stopping power. I'm definitely a 9mm girl. All right, so next question. What's the best 9mm handgun to carry? When it comes to carry handguns, that's really subjective. There's so many variables that come into play when you have to select a handgun to carry. There's things like the size of the person's hands, their body, their actual finger strength to actually pull the trigger to the rear, and also their hand strength. Can they rack a slide? And their body type. I tend to not recommend certain handguns, but when it comes to 9, there's definitely a lot of options out there. All right, so the next question is, any tips for those of us who struggle to shoot with both eyes rather than their dominant eye? For this question, I would say make sure that you're dry firing. The more time that you get with dry firing, the better that you're going to be. And you'll be able to work through those things so that once you finally get to the range, you've worked it out. Next question. What caliber would you prefer for first-time female shooters who are recoil sensitive? So when it comes to people who may be afraid of the recoil or they're new to shooting, sometimes you have to introduce them with a 22. And once they get really confident with the 22, then you can move them up to 9mm. Try not to introduce someone with a caliber that is just way too much recoil, because you may turn them off from the shooting sport without actually trying to. All right, so next question. What firearm would you suggest for home protection? This is a question that I also receive a lot. A lot of people will tell someone to automatically go for shotgun for home protection. When it comes to a firearm for home protection, it definitely depends on where you live and who lives with you, right? What kind of home? Because if you have over penetration, that's going to be a concern, right? If you live in an apartment or if all of the bedrooms are downstairs. You just need to focus on having something that you can actually shoot accurately. If you are very comfortable with pistols, then get a pistol for home protection. If you're comfortable with a rifle, then have a rifle for home protection. But just be very aware of where you live. Next question. How often to clean and field strip your firearm? This is subjective as well. I've had people who say they never clean. And then there's people who say they clean every week. But, just make sure that you have a good schedule. A quick wipe down at the range trip is good. It all depends on your climate and your usage. But when it comes to your everyday carry, that should definitely be clean and lubed monthly, even if you haven't shot live rounds through it. There's things that your everyday carry may come into contact with if you're carrying that on a daily basis, such as your body oils, pocket lint, and just dirt, right? So how often do you clean your everyday carry? All right, so next question. I follow another firearms training page that bashes pistols that are not stock color. How do you feel about this? I have to say that Me personally, I don't bash anyone for anything. Everybody has their own opinions, and like I said previously, sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. It all depends on what each individual person likes, right? I'm not here to judge anyone, and neither should you. And, if having something with color motivates someone to carry, that's what we should be doing, right? We need to be motivating each other to carry. So be it if it has color on it. And to be honest, if you're concealed carrying, there's color on your firearm, no one should really see it. And if you're open carrying, you really don't care if people see what you're carrying, right? So why does that matter either? I know for me, I just got my Glock 43 Cerakoted with a rose gold. I've been carrying for a while, and I just finally got custom gun work done. And that was just a personal decision that I decided to make. When it comes to my carry gun, it's for me, right? And when it comes to your carry gun, it's for you, and the next person's carry gun is for them. So, try to not judge as much and just encourage others to carry. All right, so I think I'll just make this one the final question. How important do you think it is to stress physical training with stress drills? I think it's extremely important. When it comes to stress drills, I don't think a lot of us are really getting out there and doing them enough. Physical fitness is extremely important. How will your body react when you're stressed? When your body's under stress, your heart rate will increase. You will probably start sweating more, right? So you need to actually get out there and do stress drills, because you don't want the first time that you find out how your body's going to react during stress be when you're actually in that situation and you can't control your breathing, or you're just so out of shape that you just can't even pull your gun out. Do you ever do stress drills on the range? And if you do, I would love to know some of the drills that you actually do. All right, so that's it for this week's episode. I would love to know, how are you? How's your weekend? How's your week going? Are you almost done with your holiday shopping? I know for me, I am almost done. I have most of the shopping done for my kids. I just have to grab a few more things. Are you cooking for the holidays, or are you traveling? Anyone gearing up for that Secret Santa at work? I know I am, and I have no idea what to get my Secret Santa. Feel free to share this episode in your Instagram stories, in your Facebook stories, and if and when you do, please tag me. As always, I hope that I gave you some things to think about. Make sure that you hit subscribe in iTunes, Spotify, or whatever your podcast player is. And let me know if you like the shorter episodes, or if you would like for me to start kicking out longer episodes. And you can head over to my website, which is skipstacticalsolutions.com, and check out what we have. While you're there, make sure that you join the email list, and you will receive a 10% off coupon code that you can use on my website. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Skips Tactical Solutions. And as I stated before, just remember, we're all on a journey, but don't forget to have fun along the way. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast if you enjoyed it. Well, that's all for this episode, and don't forget to check out our website.